So after last week's video, I hope you're now... Wait a second. Something is missing. Where's my jam? So after last week's video, I hope you're now marginally ready for what I have for you today, which is a session elaborating the rhythm of speaking. Now, I'm not going to go on and on about how important rhythm is because I've already covered that in my Speaking Naturally video, which if you haven't watched, I have a link somewhere here for you. Go watch it. I know, it's great stuff, but don't get too excited and jump straight into practice because we have some prep work to do beforehand. More precisely, there's some habits that you may or may not resort to that I suggest you ditch if you want to speak English rhythmically. Pretty sure you have to agree with me that most of us students in studying English have a mild obsession with accent, which is why we constantly work on our pronunciation. How to pronounce this word the American way? What is the British alternative? What we may fail to realize is that good pronunciation doesn't always correlate with good speaking. To prove my point, I'm going to give you an example.
Whatever, I'm too beautiful for this shit.
Sounds odd, doesn't it? Sounds very, I don't know, Google Translate-ish. It has to be since it's indeed Google Translate. Actually, that's the first thing that I want to say. Don't use Google Translate as your tool to practice speaking. Because normal people don't speak like machines, so neither should you. The bigger point here is that even if syllables are each pronounced perfectly, when you join them together to form a phrase, a paragraph, or a speech, it still sounds unnatural, incoherent, and one of the biggest reasons why, it's a lack of rhythm, lack of flow. So don't mistake pronunciation for rhythm because they are two different things. Now this is slightly biased because I personally despise mixing the two languages together. I respect each language too much to execute such a lurid act on either of them, but most essentially because I can do that. And not because of my lack of trying. Once upon a time, I used to wish that I would be somewhat less of a misfit, so I tried to introduce one too many English words into my Vietnamese speaking to, sound as fancy, trendy, flashy as people around me. Whenever I did that, I noticed that my English instantly became disgustingly shit. That is because I cannot swing back and forth between the rhythm of English and the one of Vietnamese, since the two don't mesh together, obviously. I'm not saying that you can do that. I'm not the boss of you. Not that I will think of you as disgustingly pretentious and disrespectful spoiled brats or anything, because that's so not the truth. All I'm saying is that if you struggle to tune in with English, then you may want to take into account that your mixed language, it's potentially the reason why. This is the habit that we adopt from speaking Vietnamese. Unfortunately, this and English are incompatible. Let's just use another weird image for you to better visualize the situation, shall we? Because why not? If speaking Vietnamese were like stepping, then speaking English would be gliding, ice skating. Essentially, what I meant was that the fashion of speaking Vietnamese is very curt, very brisk, very choppy. English, it's so much more clingy. Words adhere one to another. We constantly have the tendency to smooth things out and lengthen them. We don't say, oh no, but we say, oh no. We don't say, keep your friends close, your enemy closer. But we say, keep your friends close, your enemy closer. A very good way to practice is to listen to people with a bit of a diva attitude, mostly gay people, since they are the masters of smoothness. They are as smooth as it gets. The typical textbook situation, raise your voice a certain word, keep it level from here to here, and then lower it down at the end of the sentence. I said it earlier and I say it again, stop turning us into answering machines. There's no right or wrong way to handle it. The beauty of English is that as long as you keep your pronunciation in check, your stress guarantee, you can pretty much bend your rhythm however you want. To each his own. Everybody's flow is different, and that's what makes English versatile, and quite frankly, awesome. Ugh, it feels so good to finally get things off my chest, especially the insulting part. Remember, don't get it confused between pronunciation and rhythm. Personalize it, try smoothing out and lengthening. And about the mixed language thing, you know what, just don't. Just don't. You can still have fun, and I'll see you next time.